Okay, first question of the day, and I want you to answer before you've even thought about it. No analyzing, no it depends. If you could pack a bag tonight and fly out tomorrow morning, no budget, no limits, no work to worry about, where would you go? And more importantly, what would you do there?
No budget and no limits? Dangerous combination. But my gut answer? A mountain trek. Somewhere with huge peaks, thin air, and no phone signal. I know it sounds like a punishment to some people, but honestly, that's my idea of paradise. Put me on a ridge with a backpack, and I'm the happiest person alive.
A mountain trek? Okay, that's a strong start. So when you say trek, you mean walking for days with a backpack, sleeping in tents, washing in cold streams, that kind of thing? Not a fancy resort with a spa. I need to know the pain level we're talking about.
Exactly that. The harder the route, the better. There's something about earning your views, working for them, climbing for hours, and then seeing a landscape that makes you forget how to breathe. No spa required. The sore legs are part of the charm, honestly.
And on that note, welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Emma, your host, and this is Jake, my co-host and resident mountain goat.
I'll take that as a compliment. Anyway, today's topic is one everyone loves to talk about, your ideal vacation. Where would you go? What would you do? And how would you spend your time?
It's such a great topic for English learners, too, because everyone has a dream trip in their head. Ask someone about their perfect vacation and watch their face light up. And the vocabulary? Airports, hotels, sightseeing, relaxing. It's all everyday, useful English you'll actually use.
Exactly. By the end of this episode, you'll be able to describe your perfect getaway in natural English, and you'll have heard at least one travel disaster story, probably mine.
A promise of a disaster story. Excellent. So before we get into the disasters, tell me more about this trek. Where exactly, and what makes it your ideal? Sell it to me.
The Himalayas, honestly. I've been dreaming about it for years, ever since I saw a documentary about the Sherpas as a teenager. A proper trekking route, remote villages, early mornings with the sun hitting the snow. A proper trekking route, remote villages, early mornings with the sun hitting the snow. It's not about reaching the top of anything. It's about the days in between, the walking itself.
The journey is the destination, that old saying. I like that. But I have to ask the obvious question. What if it rains for a week? What if your boots give up on you halfway?
Then it's an adventure instead of a vacation, which honestly is the same thing in my book. You can't control the weather. You can only control how you react to it. And a bad weather story makes a better story anyway.
Okay, fair. Now it's my turn. My ideal vacation is basically the opposite of yours, and I say that with love.
Go on. I'm ready to judge.
I'm sure you are. My ideal is slow travel. I'm talking small towns, local markets, cafes where nobody speaks English, and absolutely no itinerary. No fixed plan or schedule.
No itinerary at all? So you just wander? That sounds stressful to me. I'd be panicking about where to sleep that night.
That's the beauty of it. You book a room the night before, or you follow a recommendation from someone you met on the way. The not knowing is the fun part. It keeps you on your toes, alert and ready for anything. And I've stumbled into some of my favorite places purely by accident.
Keeps you on your toes. I've heard that one. Okay, but what do you actually do all day then? If there's no plan, what's the structure?
I wander through the market and try food I can't pronounce. I sit in a square and watch people go about their day, their normal routines. I take photos of doors, weirdly. I've got hundreds of pictures of doors.
Doors? Of all the things to collect, doors. Not paintings, not pottery. Doors. Okay, I can't say I understand it, but I respect the commitment. Every door is a story waiting to be opened, I suppose.
And I learn a few words of the local language, just enough to order coffee and say thank you. It opens doors, literally and metaphorically. And people are so kind when you try, even if you butcher it, completely mess it up. Honestly, it's the closest you can get to a local experience.
That's true. People appreciate the effort, even when you get it completely wrong. I once tried to order a coffee in Italian and asked for something that apparently meant a small, angry man.
A small, angry man. And did they bring you one?
They brought me an espresso and a very confused look. I've never drunk a coffee so fast, just to end the interaction. So, your travel style is slow, mine is hard. Is there a middle ground? Someone who wants both?
Oh, absolutely. Most people want a bit of both. You know, a week of beaches and rest, then a few days of exploring. Or a city break with one day of pure adventure. It doesn't have to be all or nothing.
That's fair. I think people describe themselves as one type, but really everyone's a mix. It depends on the year, the energy, who you're traveling with. One year you want to relax, the next you want to climb a volcano. I've done both myself. The volcano year is more memorable, but the relax year is easier to repeat.
Climb a volcano. That's very you. But you've raised a good point. Who you travel with changes everything. It can make or break the whole trip. So let me ask, solo travel or with company? And don't dodge.
I've done both, and honestly, I love both. Solo is freedom. You answer to nobody, you eat when you want, you change plans in a second. But sharing the memories, that's something else. My best trips have all been with people.
And my worst trip was with people, funnily enough. A group trip that went wrong from the moment we landed. But that's the disaster story we promised. I'll save it for later.
Oh no, you can't tease a disaster story and then hold it hostage. Tell us. I want details.
Fine. So, 4 friends, 1 rented car, 1 GPS that kept sending us into fields. The hotel had double booked, sold our room to 2 groups at once, and we spent the first night in a car park.
A car park? That's already the best story of the episode, and we haven't even had lunch.
Wait, it gets better. The next morning, we drove 3 hours to see a famous waterfall. Got there, it was dry, completely dry. A sign said the waterfall was seasonal. We'd planned the whole day around a puddle.
Seasonal waterfall. I'm crying. And the friends? Did anyone crack? Did anyone lose it?
Oh, one friend did. She had a full meltdown, completely lost her temper, in the middle of a restaurant over a menu disagreement, and it became the legend of the trip. We still laugh about it years later. And that's the thing. The disaster became the memory.
That's the secret nobody tells you. The trips that go wrong are the ones you remember forever. The perfect ones blur together. The disasters become stories.
Exactly. So what's your worst travel story then? You promised one. Let's have it.
Okay, mine involves an airport, a broken alarm, and a lot of bad decisions. I booked a flight for 6 in the morning, but I was at a wedding the night before. I decided, brilliantly, to stay awake instead of sleeping.
Oh no, I know exactly where this is going. The classic, I'll just stay awake plan.
The classic plan that never works. I fell asleep on a bench in the departure lounge. I missed my flight by 40 minutes, and the airline charged me a fortune to book a new one. I spent the whole day in the airport, watching my dream trip wait for me from behind a glass wall. I've never felt smaller in my life.
A whole day in the airport? That's brutal. But you know what they say, you live and you learn. You learn from your mistakes. I bet you've never done that again.
Correct. I now arrive 4 hours early for everything. My family thinks I have a problem. I call it having learned from experience.
4 hours early? That's not a problem. That's a personality trait. My therapist calls it anxiety, but she's not a traveler. Okay, let's do some useful language before we go deeper. For our English learners, travel is full of phrasal verbs, and they're everywhere.
Good idea. Like set off. That's the moment you begin a journey. We set off at dawn. And check in and check out, arriving at and leaving a hotel. Check-in also works at airports, handy, because you'll do it twice on the same day.
And take off for the plane leaving the ground, and touchdown for landing. Our plane took off 2 hours late. And get away, to escape for a break. I need to get away for the weekend.
And my favorite, soak up. You can soak up the sun or soak up the atmosphere. It means to enjoy something fully, to take it all in. It's a lovely, warm word.
I love that one. And there are idioms too. Jet lag, of course, which is that strange tiredness you feel after a long flight. You land, it's midnight at home, and your body doesn't know what time it is. And itchy feet, when you feel the strong urge to travel. You're restless to go somewhere new.
I've had itchy feet since I was a kid. My family used to say I was born with a suitcase in my hand, and they weren't far wrong. And there's the travel bug. Once you catch it, you never really get rid of it. It just sits there, waiting for the next trip.
The travel bug. That's so true. I caught it on my first trip abroad, and I've never been the same since. So let's talk about planning, because we're clearly opposites there. I like to wing it, improvise as I go. And you like structure?
I like a framework. I don't need every minute planned, but I want the flights and the first night's hotel sorted. Arranged and confirmed. After that, I'm flexible. It's the uncertainty at the start that stresses me out.
That's actually a sensible balance. The non-negotiable bits, the flights, the first bed, get booked, and everything else is open. I might steal that approach. It's the difference between a vacation and a hostage situation, really. A plan, but not a slave to it.
A plan, but not a slave to it. I like that. Because the worst thing you can do is come home more exhausted than when you left. Some people treat vacation like a checklist. They need to tick everything off, and they forget to actually enjoy it.
That's such a good point. The checklist holiday. I've seen people run from monument to monument, photographing everything and seeing nothing. They capture the photo but miss the moment. The photo exists, but the memory doesn't.
Exactly. And there's an old saying, stop and smell the roses. It means taking the time to enjoy the small things around you instead of rushing past them. That's what a vacation should be, smelling the roses. Because the moment you rush, you've already missed it.
Okay, so if we could plan the perfect trip together, your mountain, my markets, what would the dream combo look like? Give me the itinerary. And remember, it has to make both of us happy.
The Emma Jake Dream Tour. Okay, first, 3 days of trekking with a guide. Your legs will hate me, but the views will make up for it. I'll carry the snacks, you carry the camera. Then 2 days in a small town with a market so good you'll need an extra suitcase.
An extra suitcase for the market? I love it. And then? We can't end the dream trip there.
Then 1 day with absolutely nothing planned. No alarms, no maps, no must-see list. We sleep in, we eat a long breakfast, and we just see what happens. Every good trip needs a day with zero expectations, and every good person needs one too.
That's the part I'd look forward to most, honestly. Because vacations are about resting as much as they're about seeing things. You can't be on all the time, active and alert every second. Or you come home needing another holiday. And that's not really a holiday, is it? That's a checklist with a tan.
The holiday you need after your holiday. It's a real phenomenon. Some people need a week off to recover from their week off.
So what about money? Let's be honest. The dream trip usually costs more than the reality. How do you balance the ideal vacation with the real-world budget? The amount of money you have to spend.
The word budget scares people, but it's just a plan for your money. I save a little every month, year-round, so the trip doesn't hurt. It's the little and often approach. You don't feel it, but it adds up. 1 coffee less a week, and suddenly you've got a flight.
That's smart. And there are ways to travel well without spending a fortune. Shoulder season, the time just before or after the peak tourist period, is cheaper and less crowded.
Shoulder season is the secret. You get good weather, better prices, and fewer crowds. And the locals have more time to talk to you. And staying in guest houses instead of big hotels, you see more, spend less, and the money goes straight to the community.
And the food? Eating where the locals eat. The best meal I've ever had was at a tiny place with plastic chairs and no menu. The owner just brought food until we said stop.
No menu. That's the ultimate trust exercise. And you're right, the best food is rarely in the fanciest place. The plastic chair restaurants are where the real cooking happens. If the locals queue for it, it's worth queuing for it.
So we agree on food, at least. That's a first. Let me ask you something more personal. What do you actually bring back from a trip? I mean, besides the photos and the sunburn, do you collect anything?
I collect rocks.
Stones from every hike. My bookshelf is basically a rock museum, and my family has gently pointed out that rocks are in fact free.
You bring home rocks. That's genuinely adorable and a bit concerning. What are you going to do with 40 rocks?
Each one has a story. This one's from the trail where I saw an eagle. This one's from the beach where the waves were huge. When I look at them, I'm back there, feeling the same wind, hearing the same silence. It's like a memory bank, a place where you store your memories.
Okay, that's actually beautiful. The rocks are a memory bank. I take photographs of doors, you take stones. We're both just collecting memories, really. That's what a souvenir is, isn't it? A small thing that holds a big memory.
Exactly. The best souvenirs aren't expensive. They're meaningful. They remind you of a moment, a person, a feeling. And honestly, the memories themselves are the real souvenir. The stuff is just a trigger.
So let's go deeper. Why do we even travel? I mean, really, it's expensive, it's exhausting, and half the time something goes wrong. You miss flights, you eat bad food, you get lost. Why do we keep doing it?
That's the big question. I think it's about perspective. You leave your normal life for a while, and when you come back, you see everything differently. The problems that felt huge suddenly feel smaller.
It resets your brain, doesn't it? There's research that says travel changes how you think. It makes you more creative, more open-minded. You meet people who live completely differently from you, and it shifts what you thought was normal. And suddenly, your own normal doesn't feel so fixed either.
And there's a saying for that. Travel broadens the mind. It widens your view of the world. You realize your way isn't the only way. That's worth more than any souvenir.
So, is the ideal vacation about the place or about the feeling it gives you? Because I think my answer changed while we've been talking.
The feeling, 100%. It's the feeling of freedom, of being unplugged, of having no emails and no deadlines. You wake up and the first thing you think is, where should I go today? Instead of, what do I have to do? The place is just the stage, the backdrop. The feeling is the actual trip.
The place is the backdrop. The feeling is the trip. I love that. And that's why two people can go to the same beach and have completely different vacations. One comes back glowing, the other comes back complaining about the sand. It's not where you go, it's how you go.
Exactly. You can have a magical trip in a boring place if your head is in the right place, and you can be miserable in paradise if it's not. The destination matters less than the mindset, and that's both freeing and a little scary.
Okay, so practical advice time. For someone listening right now who's dreaming of their ideal vacation but hasn't booked anything, what's the first step? And I want a real answer, not a motivational slogan.
A real answer. The first step is just picking a date. A dream without a date is just a daydream. Something you think about but never act on. Put a date in the calendar, even if it's a year away, and suddenly it's a plan. It becomes real. The rest is just details.
That's surprisingly practical. And once the date is in the calendar, what then?
Then you break it into small pieces. Research the flights, check the weather, ask friends who've been. But don't overplan it to death. Leave some empty space in the itinerary. Blank time for surprises. The best moments are usually unplanned, and they can't happen if your schedule is full. Half the joy is the space between the plans.
So plan just enough to feel safe, then let the trip happen. There's a lovely word for that attitude, serendipity. It means when wonderful things happen by chance, without you planning them.
Serendipity. That's the word I've been looking for my whole life. My best travel memories are all serendipity. The cafe I stumbled into, the person I met on a train, the festival I didn't know existed until I heard the music.
And that's the lesson. You can't plan serendipity. You just have to leave room for it and then trust it. So here's our challenge for this week, for all of us listening. Describe your ideal vacation in 1 minute, out loud, in English.
Yes. Tell us where you'd go, what you'd do, and who you'd take. Do it in the comments. A voice note, a written paragraph, whatever works. We'll read them all. Maybe we'll even steal your ideas.
Steal the ideas. Absolutely. And for our English learners, you now have the vocabulary. Set off.
Check in, take off, get away, soak up, jet lag, itchy feet. Use them in a sentence this week, and you'll be surprised how quickly they stick. You know, how easily you remember them.
And off the beaten track? That's a good one we should explain. It means going somewhere most tourists don't go, away from the crowds and the souvenir shops. Use these and you'll sound like a seasoned traveler, an experienced one who's seen a thing or two.
Okay, let me land this because I want to end on something real. A vacation is more than a break. It's a reminder that the world is big and your problems are small. It's a gift you give to your future self.
A gift to your future self. I love that. When you're old and tired of looking at the same four walls, you'll close your eyes and go back to that beach, that mountain, that market. That's the real vacation. The one you keep forever, rent-free, in your memory.
So the ideal vacation isn't about the place on the postcard. It's about collecting moments you'll replay for the rest of your life. The taste of that market food, the view from that ridge, the feeling of the sun after a long winter. And the good news, you don't need a perfect trip for that. You just need to go.
Just go. That's the whole secret. Not when it's perfect, not when you're ready, not when the budget is ideal. Just go. The memories will sort themselves out.
Thank you for being with us today, everyone. Go book that date. And when you come home, even if the waterfall was dry and you slept in a car park, you'll have a story worth telling. See you next time. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. And remember, the best souvenir is the story you tell for years. Pack light, travel slow, and leave room for serendipity. Take care and see you next time.